Have you ever questioned how much influence Google has on our lives? It's a question worth pondering. Each day, millions of us use Google to search for recipes, research for school projects, find directions, and so much more. It's become such an integral part of our lives that it's hard to imagine a world without it. But have you ever stopped to consider the power this search engine giant holds? Google is not just a search engine, it's a behemoth that has its roots in almost every aspect of our digital life. From email to maps, from cloud storage to video sharing, from smartphones to smart homes, Google is everywhere. It's an omnipresent entity, a silent companion on our digital journey. But with such widespread influence comes potential dangers. The most significant of these is Google's control over information. Every day, Google decides what information is relevant to your search query. It determines which websites you see, which news articles you read, and which videos you watch. It's a gatekeeper of the world's information, controlling what you see and when you see it. This control over information gives Google the power to shape public opinion. By tweaking its algorithms, Google can highlight certain viewpoints while suppressing others, leading us down a path of its choosing. It's like a puppeteer pulling the strings, subtly guiding our thoughts and opinions. And it gets even more concerning when you consider Google's algorithms can lead to echo chambers and information bubbles. These are situations where we're only exposed to information that aligns with our existing beliefs, further deepening our convictions and isolating us from differing perspectives. In essence, Google's influence is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it provides us with easy access to a wealth of information. On the other hand, it has the power to control, shape, and even manipulate that information. Google's influence is far-reaching and can have serious implications. But what are these implications exactly? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the potential dangers of this digital giant. Before we delve deeper into Google's influence and potential dangers, let's take a more detailed detour to understand the journey of how this giant came to be. Google was born in 1998, the brainchild of two Stanford University students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Their mission? To organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful, and that's exactly what they set out to do. Google began as a simple search engine, but it rapidly evolved into something much more formidable. The company's growth was nothing short of meteoric, as they expanded into various sectors at a dizzying pace. Take, for instance, the creation of Google News in 2002. This free news aggregator provided for users to access news from thousands of news websites in one place, revolutionizing the way we consume news. Then came Gmail in 2004, an email service with a unique approach to email storage, which quickly became a preferred choice for personal and business correspondence. With the launch of Google Maps in 2005, Google took a giant leap into the realm of geolocation services, providing detailed satellite imagery, street maps, and real-time traffic conditions. It transformed the way we navigate our world. Moreover, not limiting its expansion to merely digital services, Google began creating products as well. The Android operating system, launched in 2008, brought about a major shift in the smartphone industry, while Chrome, Google's proprietary web browser, set a new standard for speed and security. At the heart of Google's rapid growth and expansion, however, was its innovative search engine. Over the years, the Google search engine has undergone a significant evolution. It has developed the ability to understand and interpret complex search queries using advanced algorithms. These algorithms rank search results based on numerous factors, including relevancy and user experience, to deliver the most accurate results. Moreover, as Google began customizing search results based on behavior, each search experience became even more unique. With the advent of personalized search, Google's control over information became even more pronounced. Understanding Google's history, especially its rapid expansion and the evolution of its search engine, is key to understanding its current influence and potential dangers. As we peel back the layers of this digital behemoth, we begin to see the inner workings of its power and reach. This intensified history serves as a backdrop for the case studies we're about to discuss, demonstrating how Google's influence can potentially manipulate our perception of reality. So buckle up as we delve even deeper into the world of Google and its potential dangers. Consider the case of Google's search bias. We all know Google as a reliable tool for finding information, but what if the information it provides is skewed? Let's take a detailed journey back to the 2016 US presidential elections. Leading up to the elections, Google was accused of favoring certain political over others in its search results. This was not a minor issue, but a significant allegation that put the credibility of the search engine giant at stake. But, you might ask, how can a search engine do that? Google uses a complex algorithm, known as the PageRank algorithm, to rank search results. Invented by Google's founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the PageRank algorithm considers over 200 factors. These factors include the relevance of a web page's content, the number of links pointing to it, and its overall popularity on the internet. This algorithm decides which pages appear first in the search results, thus controlling the information that reaches the users. During the elections, it was discovered that Google's algorithm was allegedly favoring one political party over the other. This was not a random occurrence, but a calculated move. The search engine was accused of presenting information in a way that could potentially sway public opinion. For instance, when users searched for information about a particular candidate, they were more likely to see positive articles about that candidate if the candidate was favored by Google's algorithm. This meant that users were not getting a balanced view of the candidate, but rather a skewed one, potentially influencing their voting decisions. Moreover, Google's autocomplete feature, which completes your search queries based on popular searches, was also allegedly biased. It was found to suggest positive search terms for the favored candidate, while suggesting negative search terms for the other. This case study raises serious questions about the power of a single company to influence public opinion. Let's consider another example. Suppose you search for information on climate change. If the algorithm favors certain sources or ideologies, you might get a disproportionate number of search results denying climate change. This, in turn, could influence your opinion on the matter, despite the scientific consensus on the issue. It's not just about providing information anymore, it's about controlling the narrative. Now, Google has repeatedly denied these allegations, asserting that their algorithm, including PageRank, is designed to provide the most relevant and useful results to users, not to favor any political ideology. But nonetheless, the controversy persists. These examples only scratch the surface of how Google's influence can potentially manipulate public sentiment. It's a stark reminder that we need to critically examine the information we receive, especially in this digital age where a single click can shape our worldview. Google is the grand maestro at data collection. With its reach so vast, it's practically omnipresent. Let's peel back the layers and delve deeper into Google's data collection practices. Google's data collection is a multi-pronged approach, feeding off a multitude of sources. At the forefront are your search queries. Every digital inquiry you make, every link you click, and every website you browse through is carefully monitored and logged. But Google doesn't stop at your online activities. It also pulls in location data through Google Maps, or even just if you have your smartphone on you. Location services can tell Google where you are, where you've been, and how much time you spent there. Similarly, it collects device information such as your device operating system, unique identifiers, and mobile network information. This allows Google not only to know what you're doing, but also where you're doing it from and on what device. Now let's talk cookies. Google and many other websites use cookies, small text files stored on your device to track user behavior. These cookies record your preferences, enabling sites to provide personalized content. However, they also track your online movements, allowing Google to build a profile of your habits, likes and dislikes. This has controversy regarding the balance between personalization and privacy. Google's data collection prowess is not just limited to the virtual world. The company also made waves with a rather controversial project, Google Street View. This initiative involved Google vehicles driving around, taking photographs of streets worldwide to create a panoramic view of surroundings. But it was alleged that Google was also collecting data from unencrypted Wi-Fi networks. This sparked a considerable controversy, with many viewing it as an infringement on privacy rights. Accusations were made that Google had crossed a line, collecting personal data without consent. Imagine, with this extensive data collection, Google is essentially painting a virtual picture of you, spanning your online activities, location history, and device information. This data is primarily used to deliver personalized advertisements, shaping your digital environment based on your inferred likes, dislikes. But this vast pool of information also raises crucial questions about user privacy and security. The potential misuse of this data, or it falling into the wrong hands, is a pressing concern. In addition, Google's past infringements, like the incident in 2019 where it was found guilty of violating children's privacy rights, highlight the risks associated with such extensive collection. These instances serve as sharp reminders that our personal data in the digital realm is as precious as gold, and we must play an active role in guarding it. Thus, we must stay alert about Google's data collection practices, understanding the far-reaching implications they have on our privacy and security. Scene script. Next, we venture into the terrain of Google's monopolistic practices. Google, as it has been shaped, is not merely a search engine. It's a colossus overshadowing the online advertising market. This domination isn't merely the byproduct of Google's knack for innovation or its ability to cater to user needs. It's also a fallout of practices that skirt around monopolistic norms, practices that have ignited concerns about market competition and innovation. Let's probe deeper into this issue. Google's grip on the online advertising market is indeed so firm that it commands a significant portion of the online ad space. This implies that businesses aiming to publicize their products or services often find themselves with no alternative but to go through Google. This dominance bestows Google with substantial power and sway in the market, enabling it to dictate prices and conditions businesses must adhere to. In essence, Google has become the gatekeeper to the online advertising world, a status that has faced criticism for suppressing competition and innovation. Furthermore, Google's supremacy in the search engine market has led to a significant lack of competition. It's worth noting here the European Union's antitrust fines against Google. The EU has imposed multi-billion-dollar fines on Google, accusing the tech giant of abusing its market dominance to restrict competition. This has had a significant impact on smaller businesses who are struggling to compete in a market dominated by one major player. Moreover, Google's control over Android, the world's most widely used mobile operating system, is another extension of its monopolistic clout. Google leverages this control to maintain its dominance by pre-installing its search engine and Chrome browser on Android devices, limiting the opportunities for other search providers to compete. The lack of competition means there's less incentive for Google to innovate or improve its services. It also signifies that smaller businesses and startups face a steep climb in trying to compete in an industry where one player wields excessive power. This issue is not just a theoretical concern. In 2020, the US Department of Justice filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google, alleging that the company employed anti-competitive tactics to sustain and expand its monopolies in search and search advertising. This lawsuit represents one of the most significant confrontations to a tech company's dominance in the digital market in decades, illuminating the potential perils of a single company amassing too much power. So, what is the implication of all this? It means that while Google's services may be convenient and efficient, they come with a hefty price tag, a toll on competition, a toll on innovation, and ultimately, a toll on consumers. This case throws light on how Google's dominance can throttle competition and innovation. So, what have we learned about Google's potential dangers? We've embarked on an exploration of Google's dominion, scrutinizing the concealed aspects of its influence, the breadth of its search engine, and the profoundness of its data collection practices manifest Google's power as both awe-inspiring and, at times, perturbing. Let's pause to reflect on the revelations of our exploration. We commenced by dissecting Google's search bias, where our pursuit of unbiased information can be subtly manipulated by its algorithm. This sway can tacitly shape public opinion, mold worldviews, and even tip the balance in electoral outcomes. It's a potent form of unseen control that operates in the shadows of our daily online interactions. potentially eroding the democratic foundation of our society. Then, we plunged into the intricate maze of Google's data collection. Every click, every search, every digital trace we leave is potentially harvested, scrutinized, and archived. It's not just a matter of privacy infringement. It's about the potential misuse of personal data, but also about the risk of security breaches and the disconcerting reality of dwelling in a surveillance society. This incessant data collection can lead to the violation of our fundamental rights and even the possibility of digital blackmail and cybercrimes. We further ventured into the territory of Google's monopolistic practices. The company's supremacy in various digital markets suppresses competition, curtails innovation, and bestows Google with an unprecedented amount of control over the digital landscape. This unrestrained power can manipulate market dynamics, erode consumer choice, and sustain a digital economy where one company dictates the rules. This monopoly not only inhibits the growth of smaller firms, but also restricts consumer freedom in the digital market space. In essence, Google's reach extends far beyond being a simple search engine or tech company. It has morphed into a global entity with the potential to influence our thoughts, control our data, and shape our digital world. Here, the implications of Google's influence are profound, impacting our privacy, our access to unfiltered information, our choices as consumers, and even our democratic rights. While Google does provide us with indispensable tools and services, it's vital to remember the potential risks that accompany this power. As consumers and users, it's critical to be aware of these potential dangers, to question Google's influence and control, and to understand the significance of digital literacy. Furthermore, it underscores the urgency for tighter regulations to keep tech giants like Google in check. So, let's remain vigilant, let's stay informed, and let's persistently question the digital titans that wield so much control over our lives.